So, hola bitch, how you doing? I really hope that you're taking care of your mental health as you should, queen. So today we are gonna be talking about my favorite movies, and I'm super excited for this because I literally just have so many movies I really would love to tell you about, bitch. And so yeah, let's get into it. But before we get into it, I'm just gonna be giving you like some disclaimers about this. So these are not like the popular movies because I really think that doesn't make sense to actually like recommend to you all the popular movies. Like, why should I do that? Like, why even bother when you already heard about them? And so today I'm gonna be telling you about the Hidden Gems, girl. Come on, like these movies are really just two Italian hands. So my first movie that I really would love to talk about is 120 ppm, and so this is probably my favorite movie of all of the list. I watched this movie a healthy amount of times just because about how much attached I am, and so hear me out about the plot of this movie. So basically it actually talks about this LGBTQ organization called ACT UP. So apparently there is an ACT UP in America that like actually there is like one in real life, you know. And then this is a French movie. I'm telling you before, like, I'm gonna give you a disclaimer. French movies are really just up to my standard. Like, they are just so my standard. There's just something about the French accent, the whole romanticism. This LGBTQ plus organization makes all of these movements to ask for LGBTQ plus rights, especially in the AIDS outbreak. You may actually know about all the history of AIDS outbreak. You know, literally all the white folks which were in power that time, of course, they were like, oh my god, this is a whole punishment from God, and we're not gonna be doing anything because you will, deserve death from the very first moment. Okay, see, I'm not gonna be really just disturbing all of my peace right now to fight with these bitches, but they know very well they were wrong. Okay, because right now the gays are thriving, girl. They are thriving. It really just shows what is really happening up inside this organization, the movements, the conversations. I'm telling you, girl, this is really so wholesome. Probably, I think that the most thing that really just like made me fall in love with this movie is the conversation. They really just sound so real and just so raw and honest. It really just feels like real life conversations, and it really made me feel for it, you know? And we actually really just see the journey of this young man. Wow, young man. Young man actually at the beginning of his journey, like especially into the organization, where he was like, fighting for his rights and really just being active and determined and really just being very opinionated. And then at the end of the movie, he was really feeling very sick and ill because of AIDS as well, of course, I mean. And his boyfriend was actually supporting him, and his family was kind of supportive as well. And it really just shows like how, like the transition from that person to this like half dead person, like to this zombie person. I'm sorry to say this, but this is literally the reality. And it really just so heartbreaking to see that. So the next movie I really would love to talk about, which is LGBTQ plus movie as well, which is Pride. Okay, I love this movie. You probably will hear me saying this way too many times. You can count how many I will literally just say over these movies. So this movie is actually telling about LGBTQ plus activists. I'm not really sure whether in America or in the UK, but like in the 90s, of course, and they were really just fighting for their rights. And like it's like telling all the history. Actually, like a fact about this is that it's actually telling all the history, like it's all real life. And at the end of the movie, which I really deeply appreciated, is they actually like show up like how all of these characters which are living a real life like they were living, about how they actually ended up. And I couldn't appreciate this more. Like this was so good to actually like see real life history actually represented in a movie. I just love that. Like, they will actually be getting me when they really just say this is based on real story. It just gets me every single time. There is something about that sentence. They be getting me, girl. They be getting me. And so, yeah, they are basically telling about this. And it actually, I really love this movie because it really feels like home. It really just feels cozy. And although like it's all about LGBTQ and everything, but you really just see like different range of people like in different ages and from different mentalities. But it really just tells you that just because you were living in the 90s or whatever, that doesn't really give you an excuse to be homophobic, because there are grandmas, girl. There are grandmas that literally are so sweet and lovely, and even though they are not like the most educated, but it's like it doesn't really take you too much to understand human freedom, and that every single person has the freedom to do what the fuck they want to do with their life, you know? And that you really just has no right to discriminate any person, you know? So it doesn't really need like so much education to know about this, you know? But like the fundamentals are all human morality, you know, and really just having some sort of like goddamn sense. So yeah, sorry for being aggressive. The third movie that I really would love to talk about, which is Hidden Figures, which is the Hidden Gem Girl. Do you see what I did over there? But so this movie actually tells about their common struggle as black women and them trying to navigate all of this workspace and trying to earn their place and show their worth. So again, white privilege and black people literally just having to be like this extraordinary so that white people really give them the place. Yeah, very sad. But at the same time, to be honest, it's really just very, very truthful. It's like more of like black comedy thing, I feel. And it really will make you actually laugh, but at the same time, it will really just show up so much of what the fuck was actually happening to black people with like segregation back then as well, and how much they really just needed to face on everyday basis, like literally just so many discrimination and for what? And for what? I know that this whole thing is like, racial and like systematic. Like the whole system is like basically racist. And so it's not really that easy to really just say like, oh, this person is racist and like we really just solve the whole racism thing over here. But at the same time, it's like really just makes you think how much everybody could literally just be happy if we didn't rely on the system anymore. Like, it's just so frustrating, although like that it's complicated and it runs like over so many years, but it just really, really makes you feel really, really so frustrated. Anyways, and so I really, really love this movie because it actually really shows about like three ambitious women, and it actually definitely tells about Black history as well. And also, the reason why I really just watched this movie initially is because of Octavia Spencer. So I don't know if you actually watched The Help, but of course, you all know The Help is great. It's groundbreaking, amazing, incredible, show-stopping, everything. Lady Gaga, if you didn't really know what I'm referencing to right now. But yeah, I really, really love that movie so much. And if you really would love to have something like The Help, but not quite like The Help, then go and watch it, because Octavia Spencer snapped in The Help and will also snap in Hidden Figures. So you better go and see it, because she's a queen. She's a living queen. She's a living legend, and I love her. I'm telling you about the fourth movie, which is The Glass Castle. Hold my beer for a second. I'm gonna come back. So this is the book. It's pretty, right? I know. So basically, this book is The Glass Castle, and what I'm gonna be talking about is, of course, the movie adaptation about it. So I don't know how to explain this, but there is this kind of like thrift store for actually buying clothes, and in this thrift store there is this old man that actually like buys that actually sells all of these thrifted books. And so I just really thrifted this book, and it was really, really great. I didn't know that it was really that popular, and I'm really, really happy that I made that discovery, girl, because at the beginning I really didn't like that book quite much. Between this is an autobiography, and I'm gonna be telling you about what it's all about, because anyway, so this book and movie, originally the book, actually tells the autobiography of Janet Walls, and pretty much about her childhood and teenagehood in a weird ass family. I'm telling you, I bet you have never really seen a weirder family than this. Her parents are just, Freud should literally be making studies about them, girl. I'm telling you. Like, they are just on a whole other species. I'm just really down that they are even humans. Like, they be weirding the shit out of me, to be honest. Like, she be telling about all of her stories of childhood, you know what I'm saying? I'm not really saying they are bad people actually. It all depends on who you are asking because even me, I wasn't really able to really make any judgment about them because they are everything all at once. And so yeah, but it was really, really interesting to see her parents, how she really just handling about that, how she really just moved out from her childhood home and how she made something out of herself. And it's just really, really beautiful to see her journey. And the book is like really, really makes you feel like home. I literally like I remember so many days like in 2021 I guess I'd be like literally just coming back the very first moment I come back from high school I'd be literally just like listening to Glass Castle on audiobook and then when I'm really really coming back from high school when I'm like finally at home I'll be like reading up the book the very first time because I will be like not able to hold myself to like literally just know what's gonna happen. You know, when you really just feel so attached to a book, that's literally the magic of a book, girl. And so I was like, I should be watching the film. But at the same time, I was kind of like, should we really watch it? Because I really know that movie adaptation has the power, girl, and the talent of literally just, ruining any book. And so I really didn't know what to do exactly. But then I was like, let's really see it because I really cannot contain myself. I mean, I'm a hoe for whatever this book is gonna, like in any form. This story, I'm a hoe for it. I don't care. And so I really just watched the movie, and fortunately, it didn't disappoint. It was really, really good, and I really, really loved it. And to be honest, it really just felt as good as the book, and so I'm really, really happy about that. Anyways, so the next movie is the Deadpool Society, the famously and one and only Deadpool Society. And so, where are my Dark Academia hosts? Where are them? Because I know that this movie is actually popular, and this is what I was really talking about, girl, when I really just said that I cannot contain myself, really just, adding up one or two popular movies because they are so great that you literally just feel guilty that you didn't add up to the list. So, this is what I'm talking about, girl. And this movie it's beautiful. I remember literally when I really just watched this movie, I was really not really feeling in a very good mental health state. And right now I'm feeling better between, thank you for asking. Uh, and to be honest, I really just used that as escapism, and it was really, really so beautiful. And I really loved it. I think it. So basically, I'm gonna be telling you about the plot of the movie if you don't really know what it's all about. So it actually tells about the story of this, students that are in this boarding school and their professor. I'm telling you, this professor, I think I want to marry. It's not like I want to even like date or like, well, I am 18, so by law, I really can have sex with. But it's like I really, really just feel, como se dice, I think that you got the point. I don't need to get graphic, but I think that you got the point. He's just really great. He's a great teacher. Let's stop at he's a great teacher. Yeah. And it really just tells about the story of these students as well and their like struggle and also like how they come together and like how they really like made all of these friendships together. And there are so many scenes where it literally felt like it set the vibe and the aesthetic for Dark Academia. Like I just really loved it, and it was really just so refreshing and beautiful to see boys that are not toxically masculine and they actually really have healthy masculinity. But I'm telling you, girl, if you are gonna be going watching this movie, you better be immune emotionally because you might be heartbroken because the ending is like the ending. The ending, it really just feels more of like a philosophical ending, to be honest. Like the open ending where, well, it kind of gives you answers, but it doesn't really gives you answers. I really just felt like it was really absurd, and I didn't expect it at all. And when I really just saw it, I was like, what the hell, And so you better watch out for that, girl. If you really would love to see it, watch out for the ending because I don't know where that shit came from, girl. But anyways, that was really beautiful, and I love, 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 love Dead Post Society, and you better watch it, girl. You're missing out on something in your life. You don't watch it, girl. So the next movie is Before the Sunset and Before the Sunrise, and between. I actually really knew about this book 2 days ago from Best Press. You know, um, this whole like movie like film recommendation video, you can actually watch it over here. She's a goddess, and I really loved her recommendation about before the sunrise and before the sunset. There is another film in the astrology, so I'm gonna be definitely watching, but I swear to you, this movie, these two movies actually, they are really good. I'm telling you. Actually tells about these two complete strangers that are like meeting up in a train, and they are really just get to know each other, and they like the relationship, you know what I'm saying? And then they actually really just get to get off from that train because every single person, like one person actually lives in America and the other person lives in France, and so they really just get to be separated later on. And it really just tells about this one stand, like one night only, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why, this kind of like one night only, it really just gets me every single time. I think that there is something magical about meeting up someone for one time and then really never like seeing that. It feels weird. It feels like ghosting, of course. This is the definition of it. But at the same time, it really just feels quite poetic, you know? And so they really just like start to exchange all perspectives about life. And I'm not going to be telling you more, but this movie is definitely very real, and it definitely is the same way as like 120 ppm. The conversations feel real. They don't really feel artificial. They feel like real human connection, and I am all here for that shit, girl. So yeah, I'm really happy that I really watched that movie. And yeah, it really just have like kind of like French aesthetic vibe, and I love it. So right now the next movie, which is mid 90s, and so this movie literally, as the title says of this movie, actually sets the vibe for the 90s. This movie actually tells the story of this 13-year-old boy. We never really just knew his age exactly, but I'm really just assuming that he's 13, I guess. And he actually really just, like his journey to actually navigate teenagehood, like early teenagehood, and to really just go like all of these, teeny kind of like experiences, like, drinking alcohol, like having sex, and all of these things, you know what I'm saying? And although he was quite early to do all of these things. Like he jumped right into this, but I'm not really trying to judge anybody over here. And so it was really interesting, probably because of the vibe, and also like how he actually got to meet all of this like group of friends that he was like looking up to. Not for any specific reason, just because they were like older than him, and he really just felt them like cooler and like skaters and whatever. There's like the whole skate culture over here. I love it. I really love it. And it was really beautiful to like see him navigate through all of these experiences. And there are some moments where they'll be like really just telling like conversations together, and I love that so much. They are not like kind of like deep conversations about life, but sometimes they'll be like saying stuff, and I'm like, damn, this hits hard. Like I love it. And I think that the most thing in this movie is the aesthetic. Girl, it serves the aesthetic perfectly. Really, like I literally, I'm just really feeling nostalgic and like a hoe for 90s vibe. Although like I didn't live there, but they really just gave me a perfect representation of that. And between another film that I really should be included over here with the same vibe, which is Hot Summer Nights, where there is Timothée, your boy Timothée is there, girl, and you be knowing that he served over there as well. And this is pretty much the same vibe, like, 90s summer vibe, and, how he really just got to, like move out from his childhood home, you know what I'm saying? And really just got to be in this whole total environment, like different environment and different, neighborhood, and how he really just got into this kind of like a drug kind of person to like, like he actually like got into drug business. I'm not really saying try drugs. I'm not saying that kids do not try it, and I'm really mean it. Um, but yeah, it really just tells all of the experiences that really just got through, you know what I'm saying, and how his life literally just changed so much in one summer. And this is, I think, the magic about all of these summary kind of like movies and books, is that it really just feels like in summer you really just have all these experiences that you will never be able to experience otherwise, and they're gonna be like lasting only 3 months, and so you really just give yourself the time to live your life, girl. And this is when magic happens, and so I love it. I really love it. So the next movie, which is Ex Machina, so this is like on a whole different vibe because it's like science fiction. And I remember the first time when I actually watched it, it was on TV, like I guess 3 years ago or something like that. And before, I guess even 4 years ago, you know. And I remember that I wasn't really much of like a movie person kind of thing. I wasn't like even like exposed to all of this like pop culture and like all of this. So I wasn't really very like having the cool teenager, package. But right now I do, girl. Period. And it was really, really refreshing and beautiful to see that. And I remember that I was really feeling so intrigued when I watched it at the first time, and I was like, "What is going on? Like, what the hell is going on?" But yeah, it really definitely gave me character to really just see that movie at that time. And after that, I really just rewatched it because I was like, damn, I remember I watched that movie before and it was kind of cool. I really would love to rewatch it right now and really just see like how my whole vision really just changed. So this is exactly what I did. And it basically tells about this kind of crazy creator kind of thing that actually creates this robot. And he was trying to make her as human as possible, but he really just wanted to like have external kind of like opinion about it before really just putting it out to the world. And so he was like really just launching this kind of like experiment thing where he actually like be inviting a human being to actually interact with this robot and basically just tell him his opinion about it. You know what I'm saying? About how real this robot feels. They really just, went for this whole experience with this creator. And let's just say that there is an interesting relationship that really just happens up between this person that actually accepted this whole experience and the robot. Let's leave it over there. And to be honest, the ending as well is gonna be shocking and absurd. And it's one of these endings when you really think that like what's gonna happen, and then and then you realize, oh, I don't really know, and then the ending that you expected at the beginning kind of come back, but not really, and you are left at this state of like, oh my god, I don't know what to expect anymore. So this is pretty much what really happens in this movie, and I like it. And it's pretty much a little bit like Black Mirror, like it has a little bit of spice, like Black Mirror. And of course, you should be known about Black Mirror. This is like the whole dark future of us. Yay. But yeah, it really just has a little bit of spice of Black Mirror. And if you didn't watch Black Mirror, you should watch it because it's a series, but still, every single episode feels like a film. They literally just like every single episode has a life on their own. Because I'm telling you, girl, literally, they have a parallel world where all of this is pretty much happening. I love to believe so. Because human beings are cruel and messed up and crazy. They're crazy, girl. They're crazy. Right now, the next movie, which is eighth grade, this movie is beautiful. This movie is really beautiful. So this movie actually tells about this girl in the last year of her middle school, and it actually tells like her really just trying to be more social and really just trying to improve from herself. You know what I'm saying? And she'll be like making all of these YouTube videos, which I ain't gonna lie, I felt kind of attacked because basically I was making all of these YouTube videos as well, and they kind of like reminded me about how cringy my first videos were. So let's not talk about this. But basically, she really was, navigating all of that, and it actually really tells about her story with like all of these people that she doesn't really quite, connect to. So one thing that I really loved about this movie is that it actually really shows up real representation about teenagers and them really just trying to navigate life and to understand themselves and all of that. And I really think that one thing that distinguishes this movie from other, TV, teen dramas and all of that is that they always, I mean, if you didn't know this already, that they actually always like really just show up very, very much unrealistic representations of teens that kind of like unattainable, to be honest. And many times whenever I watch these TV many times whenever I watch like these TV dramas, many times whenever I'm like watching these TV dramas, I'm like, oh girl, you're lying, you're full of lies. Like, come on, stop it. Like literally every single person really just feels like they are in college because they're all adults. And I know that like in the film industry they cannot really like, bring in minors because there's like the whole like, think about not putting minors into like like industry, like to actually like labor, basically like child labor, this whole like child labor thing. But at the same time, it doesn't really feel realistic, you know. But this movie definitely really does, and I'm really happy about how the main character actually has acne, because literally every single person in these like teen dramas, whatever, literally just have perfect skin, and I'm like, okay. It's just like weird. Like, I really think that acne is like, natural and fine, and there's literally just nothing wrong with it. And it's really part of being a teenager. So just accept it, I guess, you know? So yeah, like, why should you like be afraid of your body and who you are and stuff like that? So yeah, so I'm really happy that it gives a true representation of teens, actual teens, you know what I'm saying? And they all really just feels like actual teens, not like people that they are in college, not like, who is that kid? Who's that kid? Um, from Riverdale, Archie. You're trying to tell me that this person is actually in high school? Hmm? He literally just feels like 25. And he is 25. I think, to be honest, I'm really gonna be making part one and part two, because if I'm gonna be talking about every single movie, uh, and I really just talk like quite extensively about every single movie, and that's because I cannot not do so. I feel like I'm not gonna be doing like great service to every single movie if I don't really talk about them this much, and so I'm really sorry for that. I really hope that I was entertaining while I was really just talking about all of these movies, because I don't really feel like I'm like a grandma, I'm like really just talk like that where like nobody's listening. So yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna be definitely making part two, girl. So you better go and watch out these hoes. So yeah, I'm very excited for that, and I'm just gonna be telling you about the last movie. Okay. So this last movie is Alex Strangelove, and to be honest, let's set one thing straight. It actually feels a lot like Love Simon. I don't know if you actually watched Love Simon, but it's extremely popular, and it's like, more of like the gay kind of like dilemma kind of like movie thing, whatever. And this movie is kind of a little bit like it. It's like about this person that is like bi, but they are like realizing they are bi, and I'm not really like making any spoiler. Literally, it like literally just shows in the poster like this. Like, if you're trying to tell me that this is not like a bi, panic thing, I don't know. I don't know. It's like all what the whole movie is about, literally. And they literally just revealed all of that in the poster of the movie. I literally just knew that from the beginning. I saw that. I was like, I knew it. You're bad. You okay? So yeah. And basically, it really just tells him his story, pretty much like navigating his sexuality and trying to understand who he is and stuff like that. And him getting into weird ass experiences. Sorry. But to be honest, I really felt personally attacked. I'm telling you, girl, I felt personally attacked. The trauma. Trauma is coming back. I literally just felt personally attacked, because literally this person, what they are really going through, it was pretty much me at like the first year of high school, when I was really just trying to socialize at the summer before high school, and really just me talking to all of these people so that I will really just make of myself a social life, and me really just getting with bad people or people that I just don't quite really fit in with. And yeah, I felt personally attacked. Thank you for asking. So yeah, I really love that movie, and I really just remember that I was like walking like forward and past, really just thinking about like I was like, if like 2 plus 2 is 4 and 5 plus 5 is 10, how the fuck does this movie knew exactly about how I felt in the first year of my high school? This was literally me. So yeah. So if you wanna know and if you wanna be personally attacked as me, go and watch it. Anyways, I feel like this is literally the like the worst kind of like movie to actually end up my video with. But yeah, it was really great. I'm not gonna lie, it was really great as well, and it was really beautiful, and it was a slightly much improved version of Love Simon. So you better watch it, okay? I love it. It's kind of like a silly high school, kind of like a TV drama thing, but I also loved it, and I don't know whether I loved it because I felt represented in it or because it was beautiful. But I remember at the same time, there were like many moments where I really felt like it was quite realistic as well, and it was quite like real life situation happening. Like it was like sometimes when you watch movies, you really think like, oh my god, this is the movie where like this will never happen in real life. But this, I really felt like, oh, this can actually happen in real life. Like seriously. let's get into the end of the video. So thank you so much for actually listening up to me, geeking about all of my favorite movies. I really hope that you got out of some really, really good shit of like underrated movies, you know what I'm saying? Watch out house for literally just the part two of this, video. So yeah. And yeah, thank you so much for listening to me. Take care of your mental health as you should. Bye beat. Bye. Yeah, subscribe to me, girl. If you haven't already done it, I'm giving you a second chance, okay? I know, bye.